Have you ever given someone feedback and watched their face shut down halfway through? Or maybe you've spent hours preparing what to say, only for the message to completely miss the mark. Giving feedback is one of the most important responsibilities a manager has, and also one of the most difficult. In this video, we're going to break down 2 mistakes that almost all managers make when giving feedback, and give you the secret to delivering feedback in a way that means it will be heard, respected, and actually lead to change. Mistake number 1. The feedback sandwich. One of the most common mistakes that managers make is the use of the feedback sandwich. When giving feedback, most managers want to soften the blow of any negative feedback and build the employee up with positive feedback, so they sandwich the negative between 2 positives. The problem is, this doesn't work. Some individuals may end up ignoring the praise entirely, as they spend the whole time waiting for the inevitable negative feedback to drop. Others may focus only on the praise at the beginning and at the end, and the negative feedback in the middle gets forgotten altogether. Either way, the message you were trying to get across gets lost. A better approach is to clearly separate praise from criticism. For example, you might say, "I want to share a few things you're doing well, and also a few things you can improve. Do you have a preference for which we talk about first?" That kind of approach is not only more respectful, it also gives the other person a sense of ownership. They're no longer just receiving feedback, they're participating in a conversation about their development. And that piece is really critical. Feedback should never be a one-way street. A truly effective feedback conversation should end with a question, like, "Is there anything I could be doing differently to support you?" Or, "What's something I should know about how we work together?" By doing this, you signal that growth is a shared responsibility. It's not about fixing someone else, it's about improving together. That's what builds trust, engagement, and a stronger working relationship over time. Mistake number 2. Focusing on the wrong thing. Most leaders genuinely want to help their people improve, but even with the best intentions, feedback often backfires. It lands as judgment, sparks defensiveness, or simply gets ignored. So why is that? Well, it's because many managers unintentionally focus on the wrong thing. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is to focus on the person instead of the behavior that needs to change. Let's explain what we mean by that. When feedback becomes a commentary on someone's character or their ability rather than their actions, it stops being useful and starts being personal. A well-known piece of research by Kluger and Denisi found that feedback becomes significantly less effective when it shifts away from the task or behavior and instead targets the individual. The more that your feedback feels like a personal attack, the more it triggers someone's ego, and when that happens, it becomes much harder for you to get your message across. Psychologists call this the totalitarian ego. It's the mental mechanism that works like an inner dictator, protecting our self-image by filtering out anything that threatens it and putting us on the defensive. But there is a simple way to avoid this. All you need to do is make sure that you focus on specific behaviors, and then the conversation will change. When you focus on work or specific tasks, people stop trying to protect themselves and start thinking about how they can improve. You're not questioning who they are, you're giving them tools to get better at what they do. In addition to focusing more on behaviors and less on the person, there's also one simple sentence that can dramatically shift how feedback is received. Before offering critical feedback to someone, try saying something like, "I'm giving you these comments because I have high expectations, and I'm confident you can meet them." By saying this, you're communicating belief, not blame. It sends a message to your employee that you see their potential, and that's why you're investing in the conversation. Of course, you don't have to use this sentence word for word, but the essence is that people are far more receptive to feedback when they feel the person giving it is supportive of them. So, by communicating that you believe in their potential and that you want them to be successful, it makes it much easier for your employee to hear any tough feedback. In the end, giving effective feedback isn't about perfect phrasing or polished delivery. As a manager, if you show a willingness to grow and that you're on their side, the other person will be a lot more excited about trying to grow with you.